Can I retire at 57 years old with $1 million in retirement savings? That's what we're going to look at here on the Your Financial EKG YouTube channel. I've got a couple. They're both 57 years old. They have $1 million in retirement investing accounts spread across different retirement vehicles. And they're asking the question, can I retire? Let's get into it right now. So I've got Marvin and Sylvia Houndstooth. They both live in North Carolina. They are married. They're 57 years old. Marvin currently makes $200,000 a year at his job, but he's wanting to retire. So we want to retire at 57 in just a couple months. Now, from a Social Security standpoint, Marvin and Sylvia both qualify for Social Security. Marvin's primary benefit at 67 will be $3,644. Now, Sylvia is actually going to get a spousal benefit at 67 of $1,822. Now, keep in mind, if you claim Social Security at your full retirement age, which is 67, you're going to get 100% of your full retirement benefit. If you claim at 62, you're only going to get 70% of your full retirement benefit. And if you claim at 70, you're actually going to get 124% of your full retirement benefit. Now, Sylvia, her earnings record is much lower than Marvin's. So Marvin's record is more than double what Sylvia would get in Social Security. So we're going to do a spousal benefit for her, which means when she turns 67, she's going to get half of Marvin's Social Security benefit. If she were to claim at 62 or sometime between 62 and 67, she would get a reduced spousal benefit, but it's up to 50% at full retirement age. So we want to get her all the way there. The other reason why I want to get her to 67 is because we want to get the most bang for our buck out of Social Security for Marvin, just in case he were to pass away first. Sylvia would lose her Social Security benefit, the spouse, and she would gain his. So we really want to optimize Social Security for this couple as much as we possibly can. Now, Marvin does have a small pension. It's paying out $260. It's only going to last for another 9 years. So it only pays out to the age 66. Now, from an asset standpoint, you can see how they have multiple different assets spread out among multiple different retirement vehicles. But I really want to point out these two right here, the brokerage account. Because the brokerage account is where you have money that is being invested for retirement, but it's not being taxed. It's not becoming tax-free. It's not like going into an IRA or a Roth IRA. This is after-tax money that when it's invested into the brokerage account, it grows. Now, you might have a capital gain and pay taxes. You get dividends and interest. You may pay taxes on that when that happens. But this is a way, if you're wanting to retire at 55, if you're wanting to retire at 57 like this couple, they have a bucket of money that they can use for retirement income to bridge the gap until they get to 59 and a half, so they don't have to use a 72T, the rule of 55. That's called a freedom fund. That gives you the freedom to do whatever you want. And so they've got $340,000 in one brokerage account. They have $120,000 in another brokerage account. You can see Marvin does have a 401k. He is contributing $2,500 per month to that. But again, we're retiring in September, so a lot of the contributions have been stopped because now, instead of being in the accumulation phase, we're going to go to preservation and income. Now, they have a home. It's worth $480,000 in North Carolina. So here we go. We got $1 million in total assets. That's why they're asking the question, can I retire at 57 with $1 million? Now, their portfolio weighted average, we're going to run everything at 5%. So we're going to go down a percentage what I normally would run. Normally I do 6%, but I've noticed in a lot of comments that you all would like me to run at lower rates of return. So we're going to do 5%. We're going to go even lower. So that means we're going to project out for the next 30 years that their investments are only going to earn a 5% rate of return. Now, here's something I want to focus on for this video. I want you to think about taxes. And I want you to think about when you take out income from a retirement asset, think about how the taxes play an integral part in how long your retirement income is going to last. And I'm not just talking about IRAs, Roth IRAs, 401ks, 403bs. I'm also talking about taxable brokerage accounts. So look at this. They both have a brokerage account. It's non-qualified, meaning they pay taxes on capital gains, interest, and dividends. What we can do in the software is we can put a cost basis. So we know how much is coming out as interest or capital gain and how much is coming out as principal, meaning you're not going to pay taxes on principal. So the question becomes, does that make a difference? So let's answer that in just a second. So from an expense standpoint, here's our expense plan. We've got a mortgage of $2,000, which is going to end in 2039. Now, keep in mind, there's no inflation on a mortgage payment, right? It's $2,000, it's $2,000 for 30 years. We have baseline expenses of $4,300, which is like the light bill, the gas bill, taxes, insurance. Those are baseline expenses. And they do have inflation of 3.27%. Now, we also have go-go money, and we've built in slow-go money. So we're going to have some fun money when we retire, $1,500 a month with inflation for the next 10 years. So from 2023 to 2033. But then in 2033, our fund number 2 is going to drop to $750 a month. So you see how we're playing out $1,500 for 10 years per month for 10 years, and then we're going to do $750 per month for 10 years with inflation. And that's going to go from 2033 to 2043. So that's going to get them from 57 to 67, from 67 to 77, and then we can reassess the fund spending at that point. But you can see how we can kind of gauge this out over time. So it's not just saying, hey, I'm going to spend fund money at this amount for this long. We can actually ladder it down so that your spending naturally goes down as you get older. Not necessarily that you're unhealthy, that maybe you've seen the world and you don't need to go to Paris again. You can go to Paris, Texas, but maybe you don't need to go back to Paris, France. All right. So that's our expenses. Now, cash flows, Marvin and Sylvia are going to work part-time. Sylvia works right now at a flower shop. She delivers flowers. She loves doing that. Marvin actually works at a company where he can rent his car out to people who visit in North Carolina. And I don't want to mention the company because I'm not giving any kind of recommendations for that. We've used the service, but he actually can make about $2,500 a month doing this. So he wants to do it for about 3 years and then maybe continue it, maybe not continue it. Now, taxes. We're not as worried about taxes for them. I'll go to 2024. This is kind of a full year of being retired and not having any wages. Their effective tax rate's 8.48%. Now, it's something we need to look at come 2026 when taxes go up, but I'm not as concerned about their effective tax rate at this point. What I am going to look at, which we just kind of teased when we were looking at the assets, is if we have a cost basis in our non-qualified accounts, does that extend our retirement? So let's go to that right now. So we go to retirement, and you can see that we're out of money at 91 and 90. Okay, so here we are, 58 and 57. Here's the pension that lasts for 9 years. Here's our monthly expenses. So this red line just means this is money that's coming out of the portfolio for living, right? Here's that $1 million. Now, here is some part-time work, okay, which we can adjust up or down if we need to. Here's Social Security kicking on for both of them. And so you can see we slowly run out of money at 91 and 90, which is a pretty good plan. And we've got $672,000 in a paid off home at that point as well. We could do a reverse mortgage, we could sell it, whatever. But here's what I want to point out. And this is what the real purpose of this video is. I want to show you why you need to be very exact in your, not just your retirement income plan, but your taxes. Not just Roth conversion taxes, not just tax efficiency in a Roth 401k or where you put your contributions, but in how you calculate retirement income coming out in the taxes, okay? So let's look at this. 91 and 90 is when we're out of money, okay? Because remember, this money coming out here, there's got to be taxes on it. This is net monthly expenses. So that means we need there's gross taxes coming out, right? Money on top of that for taxes. Let's go back to assets. Let's go to this first brokerage account. It's got $340,000 in it. We have a $270,000 cost basis. Okay, so they put in $270 It's grown to $340. So they have a $70,000 capital gain. Go to this 120. This is a brand new account they have. They put in 115. It's worth 120. So does that make a difference? Let's look. We go to retirement. Look at this, 98 and 99. We extended their retirement income plan by 8 years by understanding the taxes associated with their brokerage accounts. So it's not just your IRAs, your Roth IRAs. Sometimes it's your brokerage account. Understanding how taxes play a critical role in your overall retirement plan. All right. So I hope this video has helped you. Thank you so much for watching. God bless. Bye-bye.